Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me here on LinkedIn Live. We are streaming on LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. I'm really excited to have this conversation. I'm going to be going live with my relaxation coach, Cecil McIntosh, and we are going to be talking about how to control your emotions in stressful life and work situations. I'm really excited to have him on the line because I've been working with him for about 2 years and about 4 or 5 months, and he's helped change my life dramatically in so many different ways. And I talk a lot about Cecil McIntosh, or I refer to him as my mindset coach, but he more specifically is a relaxation coach, and he's been very, very helpful with my entire transformation. So, okay, let's see if we can get Cecil on the line. Hopefully, this is it. Hi, Cecil. Good morning.
Hi, Makita. How are you doing today?
Good. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Great. Thank you so much for joining my LinkedIn Live. We're all going to be going live here on LinkedIn, Twitter, and I believe YouTube. And I wanted to have my coach that I've been working with for 2 years and several months on the line. I mention him a lot in my live streams every Sunday and Saturday about how he's impacted my life. But today, more specifically, we're going to be talking about how to handle our mental and emotional triggers at work and in life, and how we can go about prospering through life without being triggered and doing things that we later regret in the end. So, Cecil, would you like to introduce yourself, who you are, and what you do?
Okay, I'll give you a quick story as to who I am. And I took a 4-year degree in business at Ryerson University in Toronto. In my final year, I was president of the Business Student Society. My responsibility was to make sure that any students that came in became acclimatized, became comfortable. So on in this summer's day, the dean of business and the president of Ryerson had me in for a chat. And they said to me, Cecil, you've done a wonderful job for us. How can we help you? What are you going to do when you graduate? Are you going to go do your MBA? I said, heck no. What are you going to do? I said, I'm going to get a job in selling. And they said, Cecil, Toronto is not ready for a black man in sales. They're going to hire you, pay you less, and fire you. Now, that triggered me, fired me up to go prove them wrong and to do what I have to do. So I was very, very successful for 15 years. I had everything I needed, the material stuff, the cars, everything. However, I went divorce and bankrupt the same week. And that forced me to find answers as to what happened. And a little voice said to me, you're from Barbados. Your grandmother never taught you about chasing money. Why are you chasing money? So what we want you to do is we want you to open your home and teach what you know. And I listened to that little voice. And for over 30 years, I've been helping people like you to reach fulfillment without burnout. So that's my story.
Excellent. So let's talk a little bit about when we're at work or our place of business or even life, and somebody says something to us. It could be tone of voice. It can even subconsciously be something that is triggered from something in our past that somebody kind of repeats, and we're either paralyzed with fear to set a boundary, to say something, or to address what the real issue is and bring it back to the team effort. How can we deal with these sporadic, unplanned situations?
Well, there's a piece that's missing that most people miss. It's like the basic backbone of what you're supposed to do.
Hmm.
And if you don't have that basic backbone in it, I don't care who you are, how much you made, how much you haven't made, you're going to keep on making this mistake right across your life. So the first thing you need to do is you need to unwind. We all wound up, but we don't know we wound up. So the reason why we respond the way we respond is because we wound up. So here's what I'm going to do right now to demonstrate to you about unwinding. I'm going to give you a quick take you to help you to take a pause right now. So I want you to imagine now that there is a door to your right hand, at your right hand, and you open that door. And as you open that door now, there's a set of stairs, and you're going to go down these stairs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's a door to your right. You open the door. And when you open the door, you discover that you are in a beautiful garden. Now, all I want you to do is I want you to walk in the garden, be very specific, and I want you to look for a leaf that's serrated. The leaf must have a jagged edge to it. So keep walking until you find this serrated edge. And as soon as you find that leaf with a serrated edge, I want you to pay attention to it. And now I want you to move on to look for another one. Pay attention. Move on, look for another one. And just pay attention. Now in front of you is a door, another door. You open the door and you discover that you are in an orchard. And in this orchard is your favorite fruit. And it's hanging where it's hanging very low, and it's ripe. I want you to pick that fruit. I want you to sit on the ground, and I want you to eat that fruit as though you're a child. Just let the juice run all over you. We don't want you to be perfect here. Just enjoy it as though you're a child. And sit there and just allow yourself to take your time to be with that fruit, your favorite fruit. Just enjoy it. Because in a moment, I'm going to ask you, you're going to see a pipe in front of you. You can choose to wipe the pipe in a towel. You can choose to wash your hands, or maybe you might want to continue. Doesn't matter, your choice. Now there's another door. This door now, you open it, and you are at the airport. And I want you to listen to the songs of the planes landing. And the songs of the planes taking off. Stay focused. Songs of the planes landing and songs of the planes taking off. Just pay attention. And just be aware of what you're aware of. And now there's another door. And I want you to open the door. And now I want you to come back up those stairs that we just came down. So we're at 10. And we're going to come up to 1. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. At the count of 1, we'll be back here in this place where we will continue our conversation. 4, 3, 2, 1. So you're back here now. This is what I'm talking about. You need to unwind first. So when these negative triggers come in, you become aware of them. But here's the problem. If I were to be talking to you and I would say to you, when you went to the airport, what happened? You might say, I didn't hear anything. I had difficulty hearing. Or you might say, when I went with the mango, I didn't enjoy the mango. I went to the to the orchard, I didn't enjoy it. Or you might say, the flowers, I was difficulty finding these things. The point I'm making is that we operate on basically one frequency. We either see, hear, or feel. The problem is that there are three frequencies or three ways in which information comes into us, basically. But most of us are on one. So the problem is when I said that I had this, my inner voice spoke to me. I can listen because I was on all frequencies. But what's happening? You are getting information all the time, but most of us are only on one frequency, so we don't hear anything, we don't see anything, or we don't feel. But there's one thing that's dominant, and that's how we function. So that's the basic challenge. The information is coming into us, we're not aware of it. So the first thing is our awareness. If you're not aware, then you are going to have negative emotions are going to create all kinds of problems for you. So was the first question? So was that? So let's deal with the first question. How do you manage your mindset and feelings when stressed out at work on your personal life? So first, you have to have an understanding and awareness, right? And secondly, I call it running through the red light. We need to pause. Listen, I'm not here to knock anything. There's mindfulness, there's all these different things that I talk. I have nothing against it. But there's one thing that's missing. We're doing them, but we're not pausing. We just imagine that you're running through the red light in your mind. Imagine how much damage you would do if you were actually physically doing it. But we do it every day. And the reason why we're running through that is because we don't know how to pause. Like, for example, I give you a 1,000-word document and I said to you, do me a favor, 1,000-word document, one period at the end. I said to you, please read that document. What do you have to do? You have to punctuate the document for it to make sense. The problem is we're not punctuating. We are running the red light. And that stops us running the red light, one. And secondly, there are other things that are happening in different frequencies. Like we speak English, but we're supposed to speak French and Spanish. But because we only speak English, we don't understand what's happening in the other frequencies. So this is a part of, at a deeper level. This is what's causing. I just want to give you the end here. I want to give you a deeper understanding as to what you're doing, so you can address it. So this is what we're doing. So we are only on one frequency, and we're running through the red light. So we're missing, like, if you want to look at it in a business context, we listen 66% or 2/3, 66% of everything that's going on around us, because we are comfortable in that one aspect of it. Do you have any questions, Makita?
Yes, I want to talk about how our past has a lot to do with this, because I think as grown adults, we go through life, we stuff things down, we overcompensate with awards and money and traveling. And now that the pandemic is over, people are back to that kind of busy, filling up their time with activities to subconsciously, they don't even realize they're numbing things down. So, how does our past impact these triggers?
Okay, most of us are successful mid-30s, early 40s, and that's our condition. That's the way we do things, right? Then we move into another time where we need to have more space. We need to be more aware now. But what happens is, because we don't have that awareness, we're comfortable. And usually we're comfortable with the things we've always done. But those things, you're not successful anymore. You're just frustrated because you're doing this. And you're like, man, what's going on here? I've made money here. I've done this. I've done it. But it's not working anymore, right? Because you're living in the past. Things have changed. You have changed. So what's important is that you would say, well, I did it this way. Or that's the past, right? Or you might say, well, I'm really looking forward to improve my business. I mean, I'm looking forward to getting a bigger house, a bigger car. I'm looking forward to that. So one is the future, and the other one is like, but I did do it in the past. So what's happening is the past is like spilt milk. If you were in a relationship before and it's no longer there, it's spilt milk, but we still continue talking about it. Or we talk about what we want to do in the future, because but the problem is we are not in the present moment. And the reason why we're not in the present moment, because we're running through the red light. Right? The only way you can stay present is to be aware that this is what's going on. In the present moment, there's no past, there's no spilt milk, and there's no wondering about what's going to happen next. And when you're in the present moment, everything is beautiful. But if you're not aware, you're going to go back to the old habits and say, well, this doesn't make any sense. I got to slow down. How slow am I going to help me? That's our kind of
Right.
mentality. But when you do, you'd be surprised to see what happens.
Now, I find that I can't speak for other people, but for myself on the line, before I started working with you, the pandemic started. And for the first 2 or 3 months, I was excited because I'm an introvert and I didn't have to go out into public spaces and interact, stuff like that. But then that's when that's when it hit me that, wow, this is real. And um, how can people from I guess a basic level kind of stop to really be in the moment? And because somebody can be in the moment and they could be washing dishes and they think they're in the moment because they're meditating, and they think they're in the moment because they're not with their friends. So what does being in the moment look like? Like, what's the best way to approach that?
Okay, I'm going to give you a very, very simple exercise. Or let me see how I can demonstrate it to you. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate it to you now by speaking to you.
Okay.
Right? I think we talk, so it's a simple exact. This applies to everything. So, how do we stay in the moment? Staying in the moment is very simple. It's very simple because we're taking the time to pause as we speak. We're taking the time to just be as we speak. We're not rushing to think what we're going to say next. We're finishing our sentence first, and then we're moving on to the next sentence. And while we're doing that, it's very difficult for you to go back in the past or to think of the future. Because in that moment and that pausing, you are totally present. It's that simple. But because we're running the red light and it's a habit and we're comfortable, we keep on doing it. Now, quickly, I work with over 2,000 heart, stroke, and cancer patients in hospitals. And I asked them, what were they doing in the hospital? And the response in general was, we were so busy chasing money that we never stopped to look after our health.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're saying is that was my experience. 2,000 heart, stroke, and cancer patients. That's what they said to me. So that's an example where, and what I did is just taught them how to pause. So I don't know if that answers your question, if you need more clarification on it.
That does. We have a few more minutes here. I know that we have 3 other topics. Did you want to, doesn't look like anybody's on the line, but there could be a replay. Did you want to do another session for the other 3 topics?
It's your call. I'm here to serve. Whatever you would like me to do, I'm more than happy to help to serve your audience.
I'd love to do that, and we can take that offline. But how can people contact you? And did you want to mention your free ebook?
Okay. Yes. One of the things that I do at a higher level. So I like to start at the top. At a higher level, I teach you how to take your gift and merge it with who you are. Most of us don't know who we are. So my book is called Draw Back the Veil, and it's explaining to you who you really are. And it can be found at cecilebook.com. That's C as in cat, E as in Edward, C as in cat, I as in island, ebook.com. That ebook will explain to you all the mistakes you're making and what you can do to fix it. So that will give you a better understanding as to why all the problems you're having, you don't have to have them, but it explains to you the foundation of it and allows you to get a better, be more aware is a better way of putting it, so that you don't have to struggle. You don't have to, get caught up in all the things that are happening and chasing everything happening. You can just enjoy life. So at cecilebook.com is where you get my free ebook, Draw Back the Veil.
And everyone else on the line, I believe Cecil is tagged on this invite during the replay. Just click on the description of this live stream and click on his name, and you can also connect with him there on LinkedIn. So thank you so much for your time, Cecil. We'll talk offline to discuss an upcoming session or two. And anyone on the line that's watching this on the replay, follow if you're not connected to Cecil and I, follow us. If you have any questions about what Cecil and I discussed here, leave a comment below, or you can connect with Cecil anonymously by connecting with him on the website that he mentioned or through LinkedIn through a private message. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining, and thank you for your time today, Cecil, as well. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Makita. It was my pleasure.
Okay. Have a happy Sunday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.